right, here's part two of the jazz kit guitar going together. Now I have my pickup laying in place. I've done pulled the wire through here. I'm going to go ahead and screw this down. And I have on hand some black screws. I just thought they would look better than the chrome screws in there. And I use, and you'll see this is pretty familiar around the guitar world these days. That Howard Feed and Wax wood polish and conditioner. I use this a lot on different things on the guitar, mainly fretboards. I'll be using this on my fretboard here probably later on today. But I also use it, shake it up a little bit, so I can get some of that stuff in the lid of it here. But I also use it to help with the screws. See, I put a little bit of that on that. You tried to anyway. Get some in the lid here. So what I do, I get that on that screw like that before you go screwing your screws into your wood. What that does is helps lubricate that screw. Helps lubricate that screw so that it makes it easier to screw down into the top. I didn't realize I plugged them all up that bad. There we are. And of course, you know, they never put anything in the right spot. So I think what I'm going to do is re-drill those a little bit. Because what it's doing is not lining up. The screws aren't lining up with the holes at all, which is typical when it comes to kit guitars. So now I got to find my little drill bit. And I'm going to proceed to drill these out a little bit here. Trying to make sure that's centered up. I don't want it to be too off center to my strings. All right, let's try that. I didn't drill all the way down through it because I want the screw to kind of help bite onto it. There we go. Now when you put these in, you don't want to over tighten them because you'll crack your plastic if you're using plastic like I'm doing right now. So we're going to do that 3 more times. Next, we're going to just get that one started. Here's a tip for you all out there. If you use a drill bit that's too big for your screws, what do? What I do is I take these toothpicks Put a little bit of Titebond glue on there. Stick it down that hole, cut it off, and put my screw right into that wood. And that'll tighten things right back up again. See, I bet you I'll have to do that with this one. We'll see here. No, maybe not. Hey, what do you know? It worked. May I suggest to y'all out there too, if you haven't done so, if you're going to be messing with guitars, you need to buy yourself one of these bins. It's got all these different parts. See, like it's got bone nut blanks in it here for doing nuts. It's got plastic blanks. Comes with screws, pins. Of course, I put these in there. These are the ends off of your guitar strings. My granddaughter and I used to make jewelry out of those. Plus, I also use them for side markers on your guitars when you're making them. Here's another one I bought. Has all kinds of different screws, different lengths. See, it's got screws for your bolt-on necks and stuff like that. Strap buttons, just whatever you might need along the way. Has a standard tees with the spacers. Pickup screws, pickup springs, so you can load your pickups. Very handy to have, and they're not that expensive. I think I got both those off of eBay back when I was on eBay. But I'm sure Amazon has them too. But they weren't that expensive, so it'd be worthwhile if you're going to be messing with guitars to have yourself an inventory of screws, because you never know what guitar you're working on, what screw you might need. And what I like about these kits are they come with all different sizes. And so far, I've been lucky. I can find what I need. Alrighty. So there we go. Now that's mounted in. That's mounted in now. So what's my next step? Come on, guess. My next step is get some of my mess cleaned up over here. There might be another part 3 to this about the guitar going together. More than likely. What I'm doing is I'm also at the same time working on one big video where it shows this guitar being built from beginning to end. I think on that video I'm going to put the sound video on it. And so what I'm going to do right now, I think my next step is I'm going to take my reamer. I'm going to ream these holes out a little bit so I don't have no issues of putting the pots in. And what we'll do, we'll test these out. I got other pots in here I can test out with it. Just cleaning up all the paint and stuff that's gone on since we started building this thing. And I say we because everybody's been involved with me has helped me with this thing. And keep me going. If I didn't show an interest in this, I wouldn't be posting this video right now. I would just shut things down and just do it on my own. I start out posting YouTube videos mainly for family. And friends have been asking, what do you do for a hobby? So I start posting them just so they can see what I do for a hobby. And along that way, some people showed an interest in what I'm doing. All right, back on this. All right, I went ahead and reamed those out. Let's find a pot here. We can test. Yeah, there's one right there. This is also a CTS pot, so it should be pretty close to the same thing, right? Yeah, right. Nah, CTS is usually pretty good about their stuff. Yeah, see how I need to ream that out even more. I like to use these reamers because it is slow and tedious, but it keeps you from, like, if you use a drill on it, a drill bit, you have a tendency, in some cases, of grabbing that wood and tearing the wood out. Where this, you can kind of control what you're doing. There we go. Yeah, we'll come back out. There it goes. Kind of using it as a file. So anyway, like I was saying, you can control this reamer a lot easier than you can a drill bit. Drill bits are quicker, but how fast do you want to go? Are you building 1,000 guitars this week? I doubt it. Some of you guys, I've been watching your videos, and you need to slow down some. It doesn't have to be done today. And you're supposed to enjoy your journey of guitar making. I don't care if it's a kit, you're rebuilding a guitar, or you're building from scratch. I understand some of you scratch builders, you're doing it for a living, so maybe you do have to do things a little faster. But I don't. I don't have to. This guitar could take another year as far as I'm concerned. It's just now I'm so close, I want to get it done. But on the same token, I'm not going to rush it on my benefit or anybody else's. A little bit more on that one. Now for our next procedure here is we got to solder these wires on. Okay, so this is the neck, and this is our ground. Is that shown on there? Yeah, this is our ground. This is for our neck. And now, let's see, where's my shrink tubing at? There it is. What I'm going to do is find me a piece of shrink tubing that will go over this red and white wire, because these are going to stay permanently mounted, and I'm not going to be putting any pull switch on it or nothing. So anyway, what we're going to do is cut us off a little piece of that. Now what I could do, I could find a bigger piece and just fold that on back. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just fold that back like that. And that keeps that from dangling around. That's what we'll do. So we're going to shove them wires through there. Shove that in there. Hopefully it'll fit. Yeah, it will. Bring that on down over them bare wires. Like that. You can take your soldering iron, or you can use a match, a lighter, anything with a heat on it. And what I do is just heat that up. It just makes it look nice and tidy. You don't have to do it the way I do it. Again, I'm just showing you how I do stuff. Just like that. And alrighty. So now we have that. Now the way of the instructions that I've read on this. This is my hot, so this will go for the neck. So let's get this turned so we can see what we're doing here. So this wire will go in there with that white wire on that first hole. Now again, I'm going to look for a link to some of these. A couple of you have been asking me about them. I bought these back probably in the late 70s, and I've had them ever since. And just to show you that they last a long, long time. These are actually a surgical tube. You'll see them in the hospitals and stuff. And they're just really neat to clamp on to things. I'm trying to get this so you can see it. What I'm doing. There we go. And really, really handy tool to have. I can't stress. I think anybody out there who's working on guitars should have a set. So anyway, now we're going to solder them wires together there. Just like that. I'm going to clip that now. There we go. That's on. So now don't forget, that's a ground. And we're going to be coming back to that here in a little bit because we got this ground. And we'll have the ground off of the bridge yet to deal with. So now I think I can go ahead and solder this one up on the outside here because these pots are going to go inside the neck pickup route here. And same thing here. We're going to take that white and red wire and fold that back. And I knew I shouldn't have put that away, huh? That's another thing too. So I bought these in a set, shrink wrap tubing. I've had that for a lot of years and built many guitars from that stuff right there. Okay, this is the neck. So we're gonna shove that little wire right in there with that white wire. See if it'll stay in there long enough to, no, it's not going to cooperate. And sometimes all you gotta do is lay a little weight on there to help hold things down. You don't always have to clamp everything. Kind of like that. Now we're going to solder that right on there. And remember, when soldering on your tone and volume pots, is don't stay on it too long. See, like that, I didn't get the solder on it. And you don't want to overheat your work. And let's test it again. Well, doggone, how come that's not? Let's try it again. Third time's a charm, right? Let's see what it's doing. It's falling away. That means that wire's dirty or something. Oh, there we go. Got it that time. This is why you should take your time. Test your joint, your solder joints, making sure they're attached. Because if they're not, you're going to have problems. I guarantee you. So now we got this wire and this wire and this wire that's got to go together. Well, all right, I got the pots in. I was able to put those in with my fingers. I didn't need no tubing or anything like that. Just use my fingers. My fingers are long enough. I could get them through this larger part of the F-hole and stick them up in there. Now, tomorrow I'll probably come in here and reposition some of them wires just to hide them from the F-hole because they're all scraggly in there right at the moment. And I did test it out before I put it all together, and I had a really bad ground issue. And what I determined was I had to run an extra ground wire to the ground coming off of the ground off the switch and to the pots, and then it eliminated all the buzz and going on. So right now I'm going to go ahead and screw the other pickup down. I just checked it out. It looks like the holes are correct for it. I don't have to re-drill it or nothing, hopefully. Put a little bit of that beeswax on here. Feeding wax, whatever it's called. Like I said, it's always good to lubricate them screws before stick them down in there. Now, I can't decide. I guess that's the way those go on. Yeah, that's the way that goes on. I think I might have my other surround on backwards. I'll determine that at a later date. Right now, I just want to get this screwed down, and I'm going to call it a day. Now what I'm going to do is leave this one a little bit loose until I get these others in. I hope you all are having a good day out there. Well, tomorrow should go a little smoother for me. I won't have to deal with all the wiring and stuff. Sometimes it can be a challenge. I'm not going to lie to you. It's some guys make it look like it's so easy, but it's really not. I mean, it's not hard, but it's not easy. It's when you do have an issue, you got to figure out, just like I had, where's my ground problem at? You know, I checked all my grounds, and everything looked fine. So the only thing I could think of was, well, shoot, I probably need to run an extra ground wire coming from that switch to the pots, and sure enough, that's what it was. I was talking to my son earlier, and I said, yeah, you know, I've been doing this stuff for so many years. I could probably do this stuff blindfolded, but for whatever reasons, you'll get one like this one. It chose to fight me, getting the electronics put in it. But the idea is I tried not to let it get to me. And this is my time of day where my physical being starts to wear down really quick, and I have to stop and relax and transfer these videos over to my computer and do a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and then gradually just turn it into a night vegetable and call it a night. And that's where I'm headed right now. Well, probably maybe another video or two, and this will be all done. And I'll be finishing up that fabric guitar that I started some years ago. I think, where was it? Oh, the tuners are supposed to be in today sometime. But anyway, there we have it. All the electronics are in, and I tested them, and they all seem to be working. We'll know more as we go along here. Alrighty, well, not much more I can say for this today. I'm going to transfer these files over and do cut and splice and cut. Well, anyway, you all have a good day and good evening, good week, whatever part of the day or week you're viewing this video on. And we'll be talking at you.